The 2022 NFL Draft wrapped up over the weekend, and as has been the case for almost 2 decades, it was filled with a lot of Palmetto State flavor. The first player with SC ties to hear his name was Andrew Booth. The former Clemson cornerback was taken in the second round by the Minnesota Vikings. A first-team All-ACC selection last season, Booth also had a career-high 3 interceptions for a Tiger defense that ranked in the top 10 in the country.
This is dreams from 5 and 6 years old. You know what I mean? Like, and then watching Pat P and just all the top tier guys, like, and I get to, you know, my first year spending with him, you know what I'm saying? And man, it's just crazy. It's beyond words, really. You know, it's crazy.
The next player from the Palmetto State to hear his name was my fellow Spring Valley grad, Channing Tindall. The linebacker from the University of Georgia was picked in the 3rd round by the Miami Dolphins. He started in every game for the Dogs last season, culminating with a 7-tackle performance in Georgia's national championship win against Alabama.
They like me from my versatility, and I feel like that's the reason why. But right now, just like that's the main reason. Just everything where, like I was saying earlier, like just where they put their linebackers at. Just Miami, just as a whole, like where they put their linebackers do it all. So I feel like I fit into that.
To the final day of the draft, a Coastal Carolina star was the first Palmetto State player to hear his name Saturday. Coastal Carolina tight end Isaiah Likely was taken by the Baltimore Ravens with the 139th pick in the 4th round. He's coming off of a career year that saw him gain over 900 receiving yards to go along with 12 touchdowns.
It was really a blessing. I mean, as a young kid, your lifelong dream is really playing NFL. So, you know, just having the God take its course in me, being able to come on this day and turn my dream into a reality is definitely a blessing in itself.
3 picks after likely South Carolina State star Jabari Ellis heard his name. The Lamar, South Carolina native was picked 142nd overall by the Los Angeles Rams. Last season, Durant led the Bulldogs with 3 interceptions and was named the 2021 MEAC Defensive Player of the Year. And now my guy is taking his talents to California to join the Super Bowl champs.
I just really want to come in and get ready to work wherever the coaches need me to be at, wherever position. You know, I'm just ready to get in and, you know, handle the business, come to work and produce each day.
Now let's get to the Gamecocks that got calls from NFL teams this weekend, shall we? The first Carolina playmaker drafted was defensive end J Enigmare. The 6'4", 270-pounder is heading to Green Bay after being selected in the 5th round with the 179th pick. JJ finished up his career in the Garnet and Black with 15 sacks, and now he'll look to make a name for himself in Titletown. Running back Kevin Harris was up next. The 2020 SEC leading rusher was drafted by the New England Patriots with the 4th pick in the 6th round. Harris had nearly 2,000 rushing yards in his 3 years at Carolina, culminating with a 182-yard performance in the Gamecocks win in the Duke's Mayo Bowl. Last but not least, Mr. Fun Guy himself, tight end Nick Muse, is taking his talents to the Twin Cities. Muse was selected in the 7th round by the Vikings. He logged 67 receptions and 805 receiving yards in 3 seasons at Carolina. And even though he's ecstatic about his NFL dreams coming true, in the words of the late Kobe Bryant, Nick knows the job is not finished.
You know, the draft is just a perception, and playing on Sundays is the real reality. So when you see it that way, you know that, you know, the job's not finished. You got to go in there and you got to compete to be a guy. And whether it's on special teams or, you know, being one of the top tight ends for the team, that's what I'm going to do.
On Saturday, the Carolina Panthers drafted a pass rusher that's coming back home to the Carolinas. Virginia Tech edge rusher and former Westwood standout Amari Barno was picked by the Cats in the 6th round. Barno turned heads at the Combine by running a 4.36 in the 40-yard dash, which was the fastest time registered by a defensive lineman since 2003.
My brother was actually a Panthers fan, and like I'm just like, I got to hear about the Panthers all the time either way. So just like being able to stay home, I mean, it's great.
And there were several players that got a call after the draft ended. One of those players was former Gamecock Jabari Ellis. The Lake Marion native was signed as an undrafted free agent by the New York Football Giants. Last season, he was one of the leaders of a Gamecock defense that finished the year as one of the best units in the conference. I actually had a chance to speak to Jabari, and he tells me he's ready for his next chapter.
I never thought this day would come. To be honest, I would never imagine it. But now that it done happened, man, I'm excited. I can scratch this off my dream board, my dream goal, whatever you want to call it, the list. Now it's time to make new dreams.
You love to see it, baby. Big congrats to all the players drafted and picked up by NFL teams this weekend. You can find a full NFL draft breakdown on our website, WLTX.com.